So this is Massive, the world's largest cruiserweight, and you're watching and listening to Countdown City.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast, our final episode of 2024. I'm your host, JC. Joining me is Big Mike.
What's up, guys? 2024, just about over. Crazy.
Yep, and as you can see, that guy Tommy is not joining us. What's he doing? Out partying at a karaoke bar or something? What's going on?
Something like that. I think he said he's just needed to unwind, and he's probably going all around downtown. Just if y'all see him like streaking, it's just probably just blowing off some steam. I understand. So
That's a disturbing image. Anyway.
we're going streaky.
Today, Mike will talk a bit about the hybrid experience event that happened this past weekend before Christmas. And then we're going to preview the final event of 2024, AEW Worlds End, closing out everything with a bang. Honestly, this is like a stacked show. So
That should be the name of an indie show.
yeah, maybe it is. Who knows?
Oh, right off the bat. What's up, Angel? We got Tommy's not here. He's asleep
Ah.
because he's old.
No, he's not. And by the way, Angel, thank you very much for the Christmas card. Mike was able to pass that along to me.
Yeah.
That was really sweet of you. I appreciate it so much. Yeah, my Christmas involved a lot of travel, but was able to get back home and yeah, just had a good time. Kids got some good gifts, and it's been great.
Yeah,
So,
looks like Santa was your kids were good. Santa delivered. So
yeah, and then we also delivered some tortilla blankets because they kept stealing my wife's. So it was pretty funny. Yeah.
awesome. What's up, Jason?
What's up? Well, first, start off with a bit of sad news. Some of you may have seen this already. This came as quite a shock to a lot of us, myself included. Former wrestler Jack Dane passed away, very, very young age of 48, if my math is correct. And this is just a total shock. As I mentioned, for those that follow me on Facebook, Jax was just a beast, behemoth of a dude, a great performer in the ring, and the nicest guy out of it. He really was. Really one of the sweetest dudes. And just it was night and day what his character was, but who he was outside. Always happy to take a picture, sign autographs. Um, I just some of my earliest memories. I remember seeing him with RCW, with BOW. That's where I remember him the most. I think the first time I saw him was in RCW, and funny enough, he was just set up as a fan in the stands who got up and just got in somebody's face because they were giving Tommy shit in the ring. It was kind of funny. It was one of the few times you saw a wrestler defend Tommy. Which Tommy could be here to talk about that story because that's the first time I think we all saw Jax.
Yeah.
Was at RCW. But really the coolest guy. We were lucky enough to see him before he made his way up and became NWA World's Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah.
And this is just a total shock. From all we know, as far as cause of death, he had a heart attack somewhere around Thanksgiving, and just never fully recovered the complications, and then he passed on Christmas Day actually. So there's been a lot of heartwarming messages. Actually, I just saw one from his ex-wife Lola, who I'm friends with on Facebook. I think it was kind of cool. I met her through him, and their paths go different ways. But she had a lot of nice things to say, and just it was really sad. Tina and I remember him so well. He was such a nice guy. So,
Right. And I feel I don't know if I want to say bad, but that was kind of a time, and this as our story goes, that I was not very interactive with the wrestlers, and I didn't know a lot of them on the personal level like you guys did, but I remember him from shows. I know he's one of the guys that like everyone knew, like on the local scene. Everyone had good things to say about him, and like I said, like you said, and Tommy, we have some words for him in a little bit, but just one of those people that everyone liked, always had good things to say about him. We were happy when we heard that he had kind of moved into, like you said, the NWA and won their world title and all that stuff. So again, really sad. And then, seeing that birth year just getting closer and closer to ours is just crazy. So
Yeah. And for what those are what Mike's talking about. Let me see if I can share this here. Um, that's kind of the scary thing, right? I went to our high school reunion, and it was weird. It was the first one since a buddy of ours passed away. He was the first in our class to go, but then you see this and 76. Mike and I were born in 81, so it's like,
yeah,
what the hell, you know? So,
it's
um,
crazy.
so it's just take care of yourselves out there. Be kind to each other. You
Yeah,
never know when's the last time you're going to see somebody, and there's no point in having a grudge. One of my funniest memories of Jax is my cousin Sarah. We introduced her to wrestling shows. She got to go with us, and she was just like in love with Jax, just the muscles and everything, I guess, you know.
mm.
But she got a picture with him, and then every show she went to, every time he came out, first thing he did when he got out to the ring was come and give her a hug, and then go do his thing in the ring. Full on in character, still gave her a hug too. So,
Yeah,
and he was just the coolest guy. He really was. One of the guys that was actually on my list that I would have loved to interview, and just couldn't make it happen. But it was just we were
yeah,
busy and everything like that. So, uh, would have loved to have heard his story. So,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, Angel, we see that your mom was born 74. It's
yeah,
just losing too many people too early.
yeah. NWA's Facebook had a long message about him. You're welcome to go read that, and just a lot of nice things people said. List of his accomplishments on the NWA side: NBA World's Heavyweight Champion, NWA National Heavyweight Champion 2 times, World Tag Team Champion, North American Heavyweight Champion, Texas Heavyweight Champion, uh, NWA Champion Series tournament winner in 2021, Smoky Mountain Cup Championship, NWA BOW champion at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
I don't know if he ever held the title in RCW. I don't believe so. But still, that
Yeah, I'm
was
not sure.
yeah. So it was pretty cool to see him up and coming, and yeah, definitely somebody taken way too soon. But rest in peace, Jeremy Lehman, aka Jack Stain. Um, you left a great legacy, especially in the San Antonio area. I think there's a lot of people here that remember you when
Yeah.
they got to see you wrestle. So, all right. Any
Hey,
other news, or what do you got,
well,
Mike?
what I was gonna say, did you want to play the thing from Tommy now, or
Oh yeah, that's right. I apologize.
that's
Tommy
okay?
did leave a message here regarding this, so let me pull it up. Okay, let me do all this fancy stuff here. All right, here we go. Here's Tommy's
What's up, everybody?
message.
Since I'm gonna be on Kansas City WrestleCast tonight, I wanted to take this time to say a couple things about uh, the big man himself, Jack Stain. I'm definitely going to do a longer video pretty soon talking about him, but just to get my initial thoughts off and just to, I guess start the process of dealing with what happened. The best way to sum it up was Jack Stain was one of the best. He was a one in a million guy. Never made you feel like you were less than. He was a champion in every sense of the word. He was one of the best guys I knew, one of the best big man wrestlers in the game. This is heartbreaking news. This is an absolute tragedy and a loss to not just the wrestling community, but to his family as well. Prayers up for his family, prayers up for his friends. Me and him hadn't talked in a long time, so not gonna pretend like we talked all the time. We didn't. It had been years, but there was a time when we were really close. We talk a lot, and it's just heartbreaking to know he's gone. So definitely gonna miss him. That's for sure. Yeah. Yeah, just he was one of the best, one of the greats. Experience for, like I said, for his family, for his friends, for the fans who loved him, like me. Yeah, gonna miss him. Jax, wherever you are, God bless. Thank you for all the years you gave the fans and for his family. I'm so sorry to lose someone as great as him. Just isn't easy at all. Yeah, oh man. It's been just tough to deal with. So, yeah, you guys look after each other, take care of each other. You got someone who you haven't talked to in a while and you miss them, message them, call them up, tell them you love them. You never know. You really never know. See you guys soon.
All right. Thank you, Tommy. I'm sure when he's on the show back next week, he'll be sure if a lot more words come out and everything like that. I'm sure. But
Yeah.
thank you again, Jax, for everything. I mean, condolences to his friends, family, and fans, because I know a lot of us are grieving out there. So,
Yeah.
but too many people are leaving way too soon. It sucks. So
Really does.
yeah. Okay. Any other wrestling news to discuss, Mike? I don't know if there's
I mean, there's not a lot of big news, mainly because a lot of the shows this week were pre-taped.
My camera's freeze. Hang on a
Yeah,
second.
I was just going to say, like, I think
Yeah.
it did. But yeah, so a lot of the shows for both WWE and AEW were taped so that the wrestlers did have time to be with their families. You know, of the biggest thing that it's actually going to would lead into our preview for World's End later on is that the Continental Classic semifinals were set over matches this past week, but we can kind of get into that.
Okay.
When we talk about a World's End, when we preview that. So other than that, I don't think there's any big news. I mean, there's rumors and dumb stuff like that, but that's always kind of flying around. So,
I mean, kind of wrestling related. The NFL streamed 2 games on Netflix and no issues. So I guess that's good news. You know, I'm sure WWE's keeping an eye on that going into January 6th. That debut on Netflix for Raw is coming up, and it's a better showing than Tyson and Paul.
both,
You know,
both in stream quality and actual match quality. So
yeah. So yeah. So we'll see how that goes. That date is coming up. It's crazy to think in less than a week, Raw officially will no longer be on cable television or television anywhere for that matter. So it's just wild for all the years, you know. All right. Well, let's I'll let Mike talk a bit about the hybrid experience event that took place this past weekend on the 21st. Seems like so long ago. It's been almost a week.
okay, I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Because when I printed out the agenda, I was like, recap. That was 6 days ago. Like with Christmas and stuff, it just
Feels like forever. So,
it really
yeah.
does.
Yeah. Just give us a quick recap of what went down, Mike.
Yeah, and I will. And Angel and Jason, as 2 people that were there, if y'all want to throw anything in the chat, you could wrestling news. Okay, I just want to throw that up real quick too. I got a PS4.
PS4, nice. Yeah. So
I'm gonna ask you to make a Kelly and Tita character, but as small as humanly possible. I think that'd be pretty funny.
I think the smallest you can go on those is 4 feet 1. Maybe?
Not as I think it's even been raised higher than that.
Nice.
So hybrid experience was really cool. Dead Man's Hand kicked it off with a win over Animo, Vintage Danny Vintage, and Jet Black. For some reason, Jet Black did not like his partners. And so, I mean, Animo and Danny Vintage are pretty much over with the crowd. They're baby faces. Dead Man's Hand is getting a pretty good cheer there. So basically, anytime they got an advantage, Jet would kind of try and get himself in and try to take over, and it just didn't work out. So Dead Man's Hand gets the win there, and they, basically take it out on Jet, and they're pretty cool with Animo and Vintage otherwise. Yes, as Angel says there, Armani sucks. Although, kind of out of nowhere, Armani had a match versus Crowley. Armani Sage pretty much started wrestling at Nostalgia Con this year too. Mm-hmm. So hasn't wrestled very long. So we assumed Crowley was just going to kind of kill him and maybe kind of soft squash him, or but no, they had a hell of a match, and Armani actually showed some good wrestling and really basically had a chance to pin him if he wasn't too cocky. And then it came back to bite him in the butt, and Crowley took him out in the end. But I gotta say, as much of a douche as Armani is, he's a pretty good wrestler. So, and then a funny thing that was going on, we had Brandon Weiss versus Jay Sharp. Jay Sharp was making his hybrid debut, I think, from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Yeah, you got to see Armani get his chest kicked in right there in the front row on the opposite side. That was pretty cool. But yeah, Jay Sharp was making his debut, and right off the bat, did not take kindly to Tommy being Tommy. Tell him to shut up before the match started. We were like, okay, come on, you don't know who Tommy is.
I mean, baptized him somehow, right? So
right.
Yeah.
So impressive showing. Had several 2 counts on Brandon Weiss, but couldn't finish him, and he was getting upset. And then Brandon pulled out the win on him. So the rest of the night, anytime a wrestler got a 2 count, we're like, "Oh, you Jay Sharped it." For the rest of the night, which a lot of people in the crowd, that was pretty.
It's one way to get over.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
as long as your name's being said.
Mm-hmm.
Ridley Thorne and Key Vibes were victorious in their tag match over Callie and Celine. Callie and Celine were not working well together. However, after the match, Ridley pinned Celine. Ridley actually goes back in the ring to try and shake hands and make up with Celine, and it looks like they do. And then Callie comes in the ring and starts getting in Ridley's face. And then for a reason we still don't understand, Celine attacks Ridley and leaves with Callie and Tita. So not sure why, after them not being on the same page, he decided to join her. We don't know if she's a treat because we don't think the treats would take her in because they're douchebags themselves. So she made a decision. See if it's a good one because we don't think it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, as we mentioned last show, Hit and K-Jack stole the tag team titles from the Texas Kingdom and literally were calling themselves champions because they possessed the belts, which, is not how it works. Mm-hmm. But then they did have a triple threat, and they wound up pinning, I think it was Devin Carter or maybe it was Zakai, but they wound up pinning one of Living in Fashion and did win the tag team belts. So now they are officially tag team champions. Also, at some point, because we haven't, so when we see Tommy again, they are, Sean. They are complete, and
well, they're not douchebags. Well, they could be, but more douchebags that we're trying to say,
right?
Put douchebags, but so
I mean, Deuce and Domino, but
yeah.
So no, but at some point, JC, and I can't share what was said after the show when we were talking to K-Jax, but you need to ask Tommy about what K-Jax was talking about, a potential new character down the road.
Okay.
What else do we got? So there was an unannounced match. Excuse me, where Rhino King, the Riot King, who honestly showed a show. We're not sure whether he's face or heel. He was face this time. Faced a European luchador named Red Scorpion. So this was kind of interesting because apparently Italian, not very luchador, like kind of strong style. It was interesting. He was pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
A lot of this.
Well, not from him. Sadly, from the crowd, being maybe a little culturally insensitive. But
they embrace it. They embrace it. So,
but he was very impressive. Actually, it was kind of cool. But Rhino King pulled off the win there. So good show for Rhino King. Just we're not sure whether you're good or bad sometimes. So
yeah.
And then in match of the night, as far as an actual match. Casey defeated Epidemius Jr. in a hell of a match to keep his title. Those two went back and forth. Epi again pulling off moves that just look incredible. Spins way too much or necessary, but pulls it off. But a hell of a banger to close out 2024. But Casey held on to the belt and is now, or still, 3-belt Casey. Also, I want to throw this in, and we were trying to get him on when he mentioned this earlier, but he did have some plans already for this evening. But the babyface backbreaker is no longer going to be his name going into 2025. As we embark upon the new year, he is now the modern day backbreaker, Casey Blackrose. So perhaps taking the babyface out of there, meaning he's going to start doing some things he needs to do. Maybe bending the rules a little bit.
You kind of limit yourself when you try and get booked elsewhere. If like babyface backbreaker, he's a heel, right? So yeah, I think that definitely opens some doors for him for sure. So
So, but he kept the belt, and they too did tear down the house, 100%. And then in the main event, which was, again, I just say this sentence, and it's just a weird wrestling thing that you just don't get to say often, but super cool. Ricky Morton with his son Kerry Morton, Sho Funaki with his son Jesse Funaki, and Bullet Club's crown jewel Chase Owens. That team of 5 defeated the Texas Treats with Ace Steel.
Wow.
Like, if I put that up in the middle of if I went to like Reddit and put that on Squared Circle, the amount of people would be like, there's no way this match happened. The amount of random things that would be said about such an unusual match. Oh, Jason, good point. I didn't even think about that.
There you go.
Modern day backbreaker, just like the modern day warrior, Kerry Von Erich, with a good Texas tie. I like that.
Very nice.
Very cool. Yeah, but just really cool. I mean, Ricky Morton that's a guy who keeps babyface in his name no matter what he does, because except for a small stint in early WCW when they turned him Richard Morton in the something. It was Dustin Rhodes' girlfriend Marlena before, when she was in the York Foundation, I think, or something. But like a short time of being a heel, like he has been a babyface all his life, and he's really good at it. And he was super cool. Still one of the nicest guys you meet. His son Kerry, very impressive. You can see where he gets the genes from. And then super cool to see Sho Funaki in the ring again, because I don't think he's been in a match in a while that I've known of, at least on a show. But there was a really cool spot when they finally tagged him in, and he was kind of clearing house with some atomic, some forward-facing atomic drops, right?
Right.
And then they finally tagged Marvel in, and Marvel's like, "Whoa, we're coaches. It's our school." Yeah. So and it shows like, "Okay, yeah, we're friends." So they shake hands and hug, and Marvel's like, "Yeah." And then Sho turns and drops him anyway. Yeah. But yeah, and of course they pull out the win and send everyone home happy. But hell of a show, way to finish the year. Yeah, so I mean, Jason, Angel, if you have anything else to add, throw them in the chat. But Terry Reynolds, yeah, there you go, Sean. That's what I was thinking of. Miss York. When they took a couple of faces and turned them heel back in that run, there was like Richard Morton, there was Tommy Rich or Thomas Rich, I think. They took a couple of those 80s baby faces that had kind of, at that time, gotten older and lost some of their steam and tried to turn them heel for a while. Yeah. So, early's 90 WCW, I could talk about forever. Y'all know this. So, yeah. But yeah, as far as a hybrid show, tons of fun. It was great. Always an experience.
Nice. You told me earlier they did announce the next event is January 11th. Which I believe may be the first event in San Antonio for the 2025.
Actually, I think there is something on January 5th that's going to be done at the wrestling. I need to double check that. I think there's a 5th.
All right, Angel's put this for the second time, so I'm curious to know what this was about. Did you see this?
Well, okay, so a little bit. Yeah, so the thing is, obviously, if you get Callie and Tommy like within, a 50-foot radius of each other, they're just going to start, talking crap at each other. Angel feels some sort of connection to Callie. I think Angel's like only a few inches taller than her or something, so maybe that
Yeah.
feels that. So they kind of joined in. Ever since Callie said that Tommy was like 60 years old, Angel likes to continue saying this as well. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't anything really hurtful. I assume so. I didn't hear every single thing that was said, but yeah, they were, not that Tommy can. Like, he will yell at 7 people at once, but
There's got to be video out there somewhere. Maybe. Who knows?
there
Maybe.
might be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll surface. We'll see what happens exactly.
But yeah. So they were doing that, and again, overall, just a fun night. And then we got to talk to some of them after the show and take pictures and all kinds of good stuff. So.
All right.
Wow, Sean, now you're jumping in too. Tommy is at the retirement home.
Wow.
Angel and Kylie look like twins.
There you go.
Well,
Jason.
I mean, they do seem like friends, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
we still forgive you for that, though, Angel. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure I missed this. Look, Angel, you say that to not make her feel bad, but I don't believe it. I will not believe it. So
No. So we'll have to next show get them back to see once and for all who is taller, right? So yeah. So
that's actually a good idea.
yeah. Twins. Oh hell no. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Mike, for that recap. Thank you, everybody, for your comments on that. I'm sure more to come in the new year with all the local shows. It's curious to see what's going to happen too with Mission Pro. Like the hiatus that they said would be at the earliest January. So we'll see if there's any news that breaks January 1. You never know. A lot of wrestling companies like to break news that day.
Yeah.
So yeah, might be talking about that next week.
Hope so.
All right. Let's now talk. Oh boy, what popped up? I'm legally 4'11". Okay.
So way taller than her.
Which is good. That means you can sit in a car without a booster seat. What?
Oh god. Sorry,
Yeah.
It just reminds me of this old story when one of my first years of teaching.
Yeah.
We had this cheerleader who was like, what's the legal? What is it? 4'8" or something?
4 foot. I don't remember. I don't know.
She was like only a couple inches taller than like the legal, like the cutoff.
4'9". 4'9".
Is it 4'9"? So maybe she
Yeah.
was like 4'10", or maybe she was 4'11" too. And they used to give her like a lot of crap for that. This was like years ago, but I always remember that because I felt so bad. But like, yeah. That's.
Was this the end of Rampage? Officially?
Yeah. So they announced I guess tonight's shows was technically the last. I mean, we could kind of talk about that as we lead into the recap of World's End, but honestly, I think it's just kind of a business shift for the things that are coming up since they're getting the Warner Brothers deal. Stuff's going to be on Max.
Which I'm looking forward to. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, it being a tape show and being on a Friday night, I mean, it was supposed to be after SmackDown, but I think it just lost a lot of its steam, obviously, from where it started off. And anytime you get tape shows on a regular basis, you're going to lose that interest, especially with the internet nowadays, because you can get the results as soon as it happens. So,
yeah, and who knows? I mean, it's the quality of the show has to be good, And I, personally, I haven't been able to watch Dynamite live as much. Like I said, my TV provider doesn't have TNT or TBS. I'm catching a lot of highlights afterward. We were at a hotel for Christmas this past weekend out of town, and lo and behold, it had TBS, so I actually got to watch Dynamite for once. It was kind of cool. So yeah. Everyone's a struggle. Yeah, this is kind of the struggles that everyone was all hyped about AEW. Yeah, it was great to start, but now, all right, WWE's elevated their game. How is AEW going to compete? And this is kind of where it goes. Yeah. Rampage. This is kind of the growing pains of a company.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Content to figure out. Right. So,
but also, like we said, with that Max deal, it's not like it's going away and then they're like, oh crap, what are we going to do now? Like, they're shifting a little bit, but they've got a lot of stuff to look forward to, and you kind of want to see how that can play out for them.
Yeah, and Max is going to open it to a broader audience.
Yeah.
They're still advertising with that. There's streaming numbers that are going to factor into play. I mean, prime example, the NFL just did Netflix for the first time with Christmas. There was a lot of streaming. A lot of numbers have come out about people that watch that game, promising, it can be done. It's going to be interesting to see how they rate it, especially with Raw. Moving to streaming in a way AEW is going to, how are those numbers going to factor in for advertising dollars and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but that may make it easier though. It's a cord cutting culture. So if you're putting that stuff on Max, people are going to want to see it that way,
Yeah.
versus paying for a TV service,
I
So,
agree.
yep. All right. Well, speaking of AEW, let's move right into AEW Worlds End, which is the final event of the year. Takes place on Saturday, and a pretty stacked card on this one, um, including the final four of the Continental Classic.
Yeah.
For those that haven't caught up, as the groups laid out, Blue League, Kyle Fletcher, and Okada finished 1 and 2. Mark Briscoe, Daniel Garcia, Shelton Benjamin, and Beast Mordos were the rest of the finishers on that league. On the gold side of things, we had Ricochet and Ospreay. Ospreay getting the tiebreaker over Claudio based on head-to-head result. Then followed by Darby Allin, Brody King, and Commander, who took the place of I believe it was Juice Robinson due to injury, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And what's kind of funny about, because if you remember last year, when we were at the Collision, we
Yes.
got to see that final match of the whatever league it was, whichever one it was, between Claudio and Brian Danielson. And it was basically that loss, I think, that prevented Claudio from being able to like go on into the tie. It was a tie. It
It
wasn't
was a tie. Yeah, they went to
right.
the time limit. Yeah.
But because he didn't get the 3 points, he couldn't make it. So
Right.
this time, I don't remember if it was on the Dynamite or the Collision before, he lost to Commander, but it was because Darby Allin had left his pink jacket under the ring with brass knucks. And Commander went under the ring, found the jacket, used them, and pinned Claudio. So Claudio didn't get the final win he needed. So just kind of funny in the first 2 years of it that Claudio kind of gets screwed or not quite right there at the end. But
I mean, it's a story for the future too. If they do this again next year, So
yeah, and it's weird because I guess like the G1 that Tommy always talks about. Sometimes you're watching some of the results and you're like, why would that person win or why did that person lose?
Yeah.
But once you kind of get to this in the end, like you're like, okay, it makes more sense in the bigger story of where you're going.
So how is this final four matchup? Well, you have the top person in one league faces the second place in the other league. Those are the two semis. The winners face each other. In essence, we got semifinal number 1, Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. Semi 2 is Ricochet versus Okada. And then you have the final taking place that evening. So how are we picking it? Well, it's simple. We're just going to say who's winning each semi, who we think is winning the championship. I'll start with Tommy because he did give us his results. He is picking Ospreay over Fletcher, Okada over Ricochet, and Ospreay to beat Okada to win the Continental Classic. And if I'm not mistaken, is Okada's championship on the line with this too, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's so. The Continental title is like whoever wins it gets it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is how Tommy picked it. Mike, what are you thinking?
Kind of funny because I'm going with the same thing.
Okay.
First of all, Fletcher got the win over Ospreay in the I forget what pay-per-view it was, but they had a match a while ago, and Fletcher got like the win on him. And then Okada, who's brilliant, but yeah. So I'm gonna go with So I'm gonna go with Ospreay over Fletcher to get his win back and kind of put him back into a title run. I'm gonna go Okada over Ricochet. Ricochet is kind of turning heel in the past like week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be an amazing match, but I don't think they want to do Ospreay Ricochet again. I think the bigger match right now is in Ospreay Okada, but I'm also going Ospreay to win the title, beat him in the final, win the tournament. And I mean, you got to be pushing him back towards a main title run here. Like he's one of your biggest names. Excuse me. He's over with the crowd, kind of like a Joe Hendry thing. Like, don't mess this up. right? Like he's there's popularity behind him. Start putting. I know there's the storyline with the Death Riders, but I think you got to start pushing him toward, that eventuality, even if that's by All In. So.
Yeah, I'm with you guys as well. Osprey over Okada. But I feel like this Continental Championship, there has to be something bigger to it than just being, okay, I'm carrying them around this championship that I won last year, right? I'm trying to defend it. Like, is there a way you can kind of use this towards a title shot? Like, can I give up this championship for a title shot? Something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's something they work on, and maybe Osprey uses this to try and get his shot at Mox or whoever it is going to walk out with the AEW Championship tonight. So
yeah, well, so in storyline, was it Darby? Again, I didn't watch all the shows live, but I caught up on a lot of the clips of stuff from Dynamite and from Collision before. So on one of the shows, because I think Osprey and Darby had a match or something. Darby kind of goes up to him and basically asks why he's not like helping fight the Death Riders, and he's like, I understand what they're doing. He's like, but basically, I'm kind of, I've got stuff to finish off with Fletcher and Don Callis' family. He's like, but basically he was like, when I win this tournament, and then if y'all need some help, I'll be right there to fight. So, kind of, in my opinion, laying that, little thing there
groundwork.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. For the Dynamite Diamond Ring, MJF against Adam Cole. By the way, MJF, who made if you blink and you miss it, he was in Happy Gilmore 2 trailer that just came out over this past week. For those that don't know, yeah. So finally, Netflix released a trailer for Happy Gilmore 2, and there's a quick shot of MJF in it. So we'll see what kind of role he has in the actual film itself.
About as quick as his shot in the Iron Claw. Because he was in the Iron Claw too. Just blink and you miss it.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he was a blink and you miss it kind of thing on the trailer.
I know this was just a trailer, so
yeah. So we'll see if he's got a bigger role in the movie as well. Yeah. Wouldn't doubt if he's like somehow related to Shooter McGavin. They kind of have that similar.
No, well, okay. Yeah. I think what I've heard, I don't know if it's like true, but what I'd heard is that Happy has a couple of sons, and he may be one of them.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious. All right, well, Tommy picking MJF to win this. I'm agreeing with him on that. I just can't see anybody but MJF holding that Dynamite Diamond Ring. I don't care if Cole's got Taven and Mike Bennett in his corner. MJF finds a way, so I'm going with MJF. Mike, what about you?
This is really strange because what was it, like a year and a half ago? This was like the hottest thing
as a tag team,
with the tag team, but then it main evented All In.
And Cole got hurt,
and then they got injured, and like it has just not hit since they've come back. With all due respect to the Undisputed Kingdom, it just doesn't make Adam Cole feel like a big deal with Taven and Roddy and the rest of the guys. Yeah. But that being said, I'm going to go with Adam Cole.
All right.
Because what's the purpose of the Dynamite Diamond Ring? It's literally just the $1 million belt.
Yeah, pretty much.
And at some point, you need to take it off the $1 Million Man, a.k.a. MJF here. So a little bit out in the left field, I guess, but I'm going to go for Adam Cole to finally take the ring away from him.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Cole wins and MJF just steals the ring and runs away.
Well, okay, yes.
So yeah, that could happen. All right, TBS Championship, Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander. 2, heavy emphasis on the 2. They keep throwing that Roman numeral 2 in your face whenever they put the graphic up for this thing. Tommy is picking Statlander. Mike, where are you going?
I'm going to go Statlander 2. Mm-hmm. Again, I think it's time to move Mercedes into some different stories. Just kind of like, again, her character's gotten better. I'm still not sure it hits all the time. Kind of depends. So I think taking the belt off her and kind of moving things in a different direction for her would be kind of good. So
okay. I'm inclined to say Statlander. The way they're promoting this as like a rematch or revenge,
right?
It just makes sense. You're waiting for a big event at the end of the year for Moné to lose this championship, which she's held pretty much. Forever. It seems like I don't know how many days it is now, but it'd be a huge win for Statlander to claim.
Yeah.
International Championship, Takeshita versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Tommy really wants Hobbs to win this, but he's going with Takeshita. It's a heart versus head pick. Uh, I'm gonna go with Takeshita as well. It just makes the most sense here right now. Nothing against Hobbs. I'm sure it's gonna be a hell of a match, but I think Takeshita's got this one. Mike, what about you?
No, same. Also, partially because at the moment, I don't trust AEW with Hobbs. I don't trust AEW with what's his name, Wardlow. You know, they've had these two guys that I hate to say it this way, but like I feel like would be better utilized in the WWE because of their size, and AEW just keeps dropping the ball with them. So, I don't think. Yeah, I think a lot of people feel similar, Angel. Like nothing on her as a performance, just the character. I don't think is hitting. So.
It needs a good heel turn, really. I think it's
Well,
people
she
kind
is heel, but I mean,
it's something bigger than that.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah. Let's see. There we go. Women's Championship. Mariah May defending against Thunder Rosa. Tommy is going with May. Wants Thunder to win. Mike, what about you?
I kind of feel the same. Like, obviously, we want Thunder to win. We would love to see her kind of back at the top of that, but I think the storyline is for Mariah to keep the belt. And I don't know if you've seen what's happened with Toni Storm, or old Toni Storm is back, but she also thinks she's literally just arrived in AEW. And the common, or a common, maybe not the common, but a common thought people have that I kind of agree with is that it's timeless Toni Storm playing a character to mess with Mariah May, which I think would be great. So I again would love Thunder to win it, the same as Tommy, but I think Mariah May and her story is going to hold on for a while. So
Is this the new Faces of Foley we got going on here?
Kinda.
With Toni Storm. I mean, is she eventually going to be in some battle royal where she's like, however many personas she has? I would love for Thunder to win this. Obviously, anybody in town would. But with what I think they're setting up, Mariah May eventually down the road facing Toni Storm for this, whether that be at Revolution or Double or Nothing. I think that's the road they're trying to get to.
yeah.
So I'm, taking the pick of Mariah May, but would be extremely happy if Thunder Rosa pulled this off.
Same.
Like if Toni Storm came and interfered and cost her the championship, by all means, because Thunder never really got a chance to have such a huge title run due to injury, So
Yeah.
I would love for her to get it back. And finally, AEW Championship is a 4-way match. Moxley defending against Cassidy against Adam Page versus Jay White. Tommy is going with Mox. Mike, where are you going?
So I'm going to go with Moxley also. Obviously, I want to see like either Cassidy or Adam Page. Unfortunately, like Jay White's actually third in my list of people I want to see beat him. But obviously, also I think this story is far from done. And I think before it's all said and done, Darby Allin's going to also have a say in the way things finish out with Mox eventually losing the title. So I know it looks like the deck is stacked against him. Obviously, I think the Death Riders get involved. Unfortunately, I think there's going to be some shenanigans where one of them hits the other one, and the three of them. Because I mean, they're very only. I think in the last Dynamite, kind of were on the same page. Most of the time, they're not, especially with Adam Page being as volatile as he is. So I think they're going to have a chance to beat him, but they're going to screw it up. Death Riders get involved, and Mox keeps it. However, since it's a pay-per-view and Willow's not on it, if you're there, Willow, you did it once at a pay-per-view, and then you haven't showed up on well, you've been shown up, but not to come and deal with Marina Shafir, who constantly gets to beat up on the dudes, and the dudes can't hit her back. So, Willow, if you're there, Statlander, if you happen to be the new TBS champion by the end of the night, and you want to make up to your old friend Orange because you did turn on him earlier this year when you were heel, either one of y'all, I kind of hate that thing of having Marina there, but no one's allowed to hit her because she's a girl until another woman shows up. So,
Yeah.
just saying.
I feel like with what they're doing with this storyline, Mox keeping the championship in a briefcase, like no one's allowed to even look at it. You don't deserve it. And normally when I saw this match, I was like, you know what? I could see Jay White getting a steal here. But I feel like with what they're building up with Mox's heel turn, it's going to be a face that takes it off of him, but it's got to be a huge high-profile one-on-one match. And I just don't see Cassidy and Adam Page getting it this time. I think Mox is going to win it. I think maybe it could be Darby. If Ospreay wins the Continental Classic, maybe he sets this up at Revolution or Double or Nothing where he gets his title shot, So,
well, there you go,
oh.
Jason. I haven't caught everything.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you, Willow, and thank you, Jason.
Yeah.
About time.
Mox is going to find a way to keep it. He just.
Oh, that's tonight. That's why. That's right. It's the last Rampage. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming that's what you mean. So
yeah. But I think Mox is going to keep it. I think it's going to be eventually a one-on-one type thing. It's going to be a huge pop, a huge celebration when that championship changes hands and whoever beats him takes it out of the briefcase and holds it up.
If they do it well, yes. Hopefully that's what happens. 100%.
think that's what. Could see it be an Ospreay. Would love for it to be Darby Allin. Even Orange Cassidy. Those would be my 3 picks to want to take off.
No, 100%. And that's another thing. If they can do this right, it's not an obvious choice yet.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you want to use this time to kind of gauge the crowd reaction, right? Mm-hmm. Because they're all pretty popular right now. Like Ospreay has kind of had that crowd support behind him since he came in. Darby's always, and then especially with some of the stuff he's done more recently, kind of gotten back behind him. Orange was kind of initially made to look like the guy to head AEW, but you got 3 potential guys there. And Adam Page too, like people kind of like his like deranged, lost his marbles cowboy thing he does.
Can't find his horse. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So if they do it right, they're building some faces that like, who's it gonna be? We don't know. Yeah. So yeah.
And I mean, hell, they could. I mean, they're promoting the hell out of All In Texas.
Yeah.
So it's very possible Texas is going to be ground zero for where this takes place.
Yeah.
And it would be pretty cool. So
it would.
Yep.
You know what's kind of funny? Sorry, just real quick.
Go for it.
Like they finally decide to crown Ospreay, and it's the All In that's not in England.
Yeah.
And it's in Texas. So I just thought about that.
Yeah. See, I don't think Orange Cassidy or Darby Allin from Texas either. But yeah, so I mean, still,
no.
it would be a huge crowd for sure.
Adam Page, a cowboy, so kind of.
Maybe, yeah.
No, he's like from Virginia, but it's close.
Yeah. All right. AEW Worlds End, Saturday, December 28th. That's tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time. I believe the buy-in will be at 6 o'clock. It's at the, this is one of the greatest names ever for an arena, Edition Financial Arena. That's just, Edition and Financial. It works out. In Orlando, Florida. Available on payperview.com, Triller TV for $50. You can also go to your local Dave & Buster's. They will probably be doing broadcasting it there. I'm not sure if they're going to have a cover charge on that as well. So, but yeah, check out Triller TV, formerly Fight TV. That is going to be your source to get AEW pay-per-views. So, all right.
And then, I'm going to be interested because I know they put that release out last week. We talked about it a little bit, but they mentioned how eventually, Max, you're going to be able to buy pay-per-views for a little additional charge. So, like, not a full. Be interested to see kind of what that plays out to. So,
yeah, I'm sure they're negotiating with Max on how they're going to do that, how they're going to split the cost, what's Max's take going to be from that as well. Did they say that previous pay-per-views are going to be available on Max?
There's a whole thing. There's going to be some. Okay. There's like a rollout, so it's not all going to be available on day one, but like there's a list. And I think some of the like first year pay-per-views are like the 2019 or whatever stuff. Yeah. And then I think eventually throughout the year it'll start being added on more and more.
That's probably related to a contract that they have with Triller TV, because I think Triller TV, if you want to go back and watch pay-per-view, well, you got to go to Triller and pay for it. Right. I don't know if that's a year or 2 years or whatever, so I'm sure the rollout's going to be slow to Max for that. So yeah, okay. We'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Unless they pay him off.
That's a hell of a buyout. Yeah. I don't know if Time Warner's going to pay that money. So, all right. Mike, do you have anything for a 1 minute warning this week?
Yeah.
All right. Whenever you're ready, sir, go for it.
All right. So since this is technically the last show of the year, because the next time we do the show will be the night of January 1st.
Yes.
I do just want to take some time to say thank you to the wrestling community once again here in town. Kind of looking through my my photos in my phone and just going back to January and remembering the Women of Wrestling show we went to at Cowboys or whatever up there on the Northeast side, and
Oh my gosh.
yeah. And then I went to a TEW show because Denise was wrestling there, and then BOW shows, and then Hybrid and United 210, and the Mission Pro shows that were still going on throughout the year. And it's just been really cool to go back and look through kind of what's happened this year, and some things that still feel like a week ago, and then some things that like, was that still in this year? Like, I can't believe that happened like in March, right? March when I wore a shirt with Sting's face on it, sitting right in front of one of his sons at a RCW show in Hybrid.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but it's been another really great year. Thanks to all you guys, those of you in the chat that are at the shows all the time, Jason, Angel, Sean, all the rest of them, Amanda, all the people, Milo. I know I'm forgetting some names, but just, thanks everybody. It's been a great year. Had a ton of fun at shows. Looking forward to keeping it going in 2025. And it's funny because I posted some pictures yesterday. We got together at my older sister's house, and it was basically all my cousins from my dad's side, which is basically all girls. It's like me, there's 2 other boy cousins, and one couldn't make it. So it was only 2 of us, and then it was all the girls. But we were joking around and talking, and one of them was just kind of asking about the wrestling stuff because they know they do this. And they were just like, so like San Antonio, is it good for wrestling? And I was like, oh, San Antonio is great for wrestling. I was like, this city is great, and y'all are great guys, and we appreciate it. So can't wait till 2025 for more stuff. Oh yeah, Hybrid. The Lytle show in May does feel like years ago. So tons of stuff happened this year, and yeah, just looking forward to 2025. Keep it going.
For sure. Kind of want to echo that. First off, Shad, I know Tommy's not here, but
Yeah.
you, Tommy, anyone else involved, I feel like just great years this was. It grew by leaps and bounds this year. The number of interviews, the number of guests that we had was just amazing. When we started this thing, God, how long ago was it now? 6 years? Couldn't imagine it got to this point, personally was worried when COVID hit how we were going to figure this out because we recorded it always in person.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of forces to the technology side and the live side of it, and it's been amazing. So this was a great year, and I'm looking forward to what comes next. Where not just for us, but for the talent in this area. You saw them grow so much this year. Everyone involved with Hybrid, some of the up-and-coming names that have gone through Mission Pro, RCW, BOW, Hybrid, Hybrid School, and some of the names that they brought in. Where are they going to go from here? What are they going to do this year? What storylines are this? Where are they going to be able to expand out? And that's what I'm looking forward to seeing more than anything for 2025.
Yeah.
So,
who maybe joins Ren and the NXT at the PC?
yeah. Or, there's still TNA and AEW too.
No. Yeah,
But that's obviously where you're thinking, like, who's going to get signed next? Who's going to be up there on TV and pay-per-views? And that's what we're looking forward to more than anything, for sure. So, very good question. I guess we'll find out next week, right?
Look, this is what's crazy about this. 2022, I finished every intro with 2022 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
2020.
Oh, no. I don't know if I'm frozen or Mike's frozen, so if anyone is watching this, I don't know exactly who it is that froze. So, great. Okay. I don't know if I'm still live. I'm assuming I am because I haven't gotten a warning, but I think Mike's froze. So, great. Yeah, okay, so it is Mike that froze. I wonder if his connection went down. All right, let me hide his camera for now. So, great. Last thing we heard was Boogaloo, and that seems appropriate, unfortunately. I mean, kind of works out. I'm gonna wait a few minutes to see if he's able to pop in. Let me send him a message too. So, híjole. I wouldn't doubt if he's still talking and doesn't realize it. Mike, you froze. I'm dropping stuff. So, all right, I'll see if he pops in. But I'm looking forward to what's coming next year. While we're waiting on him, next week we are going to be broadcasting on New Year's Day that evening. Hopefully by then everybody will have recovered from their New Year's Eve parties. We're going to recap World's End, and we're going to preview New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 19 and present our WrestleCast year-end awards for 2024. Now, the Wrestle Kingdom part of it, this is the part where Tommy gets to host. So he'll be hosting this entire preview of Wrestle Kingdom. Looking forward to that. What matches are going to be happening. It's crazy. All this is happening just so much back and forth here. Mike, see what message he sent. His internet went out. Crap. So that's the big cliffhanger. Will Mike or won't Mike bring back the Rhymes for 2025? You're going to have to find out on Wednesday, New Year's Day. So, it's giving me technical difficulties every week. Well, you know what? We don't have a huge budget, and that's kind of the beauty of this show. It's I think that's one of the coolest things is like, hey, we're not all fancy and everything, but we make it work. So, but yeah, next week recap of World's End. We'll preview Wrestle Kingdom and present our year-end awards and find out, of course, who won the Tez Award as well. So, thank you, everybody, for joining us on this week's episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast, the final episode of 2024. I think Mike was able to pop in. Let me find out. Yes. Hey, he made it.
I don't know what just happened. Apparently, the internet at my house just went out for some reason. Yeah, so I'm on 5G on my phone to finish this off.
Okay.
So technology, yeah, it's great.
You know what, Mike? I kind of went through the outro. Let's just keep them in suspense whether or not you bring the rhymes back for 2025. We'll find out on Wednesday. Yes. We'll
That's
find
fair.
out Wednesday when we recap World's End. Tommy will take over as host to preview Wrestle Kingdom, and then we will also present our year-end awards with
That's fair.
2025. Yeah. So,
By the way, shout out to Key Vibe for the shirt I got finally.
hey, awesome. So, anyway, thank you, everybody. I mean, hey, couldn't finish the year without some sort of technical difficulty, right? So, you know.
I mean, that has been the highlight of our show for many years. Even before we went online, the technical difficulties we had of filming at your house, like literally not filming an entire episode. So yes, this seems fitting.
So many fun stories, yeah. So, well, thank you, everyone. Over here, we got Big Mike. He's over here now.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. As always, heels and baby faces. Pro wrestling is real.
People are fake. Boom.
Happy New Year. Be safe out there.
Look, I still got those.